are now listening to Tuff Tiger Talk Flash Report.
You're now rocking with Tuff Tiger Talk on the PRO Media Network. What's up, Tuff Tiger Talk Nation? How y'all doing today? I'm Big Q chiming in on the latest installment of Tuff Tiger Talk. A few updates to come at you with on this episode of Tuff Tiger Talk. Much love to you guys. Please strike upon the like button, subscribe, and thank you for joining us for Tuff Tiger Talk today. In this installment of Tuff Tiger Talk, we'll be going over. We were looking at trying to hire a coordinator, Marcus Freeman from Cincinnati. Of course, it was a choice between Notre Dame and LSU, but according to reports that we're getting, it said that Mr. Freeman chose Notre Dame because of proximity to his family. LSU really wanted Freeman. Ultimately, he decided to go to Notre Dame, and it was probably a good deal. And the search continues. So in this episode, we'll get a little bit more information on the inside as Coach Odom revealed that the Tigers will take their time on making the hire and will be flexible with most defenses in 2021. Now, Odom wants to take his time, according to various reports from LSU Country and among other publications that are basically going over and explaining exactly what Coach O is doing. Marcus Freeman signing would have been a nice infusion of youth into that defensive group or side of it, but Coach O is taking his time. Now, before we get into the rest of the news and notes on this episode of Tuff Tiger Talk, now we're going to play a piece of an interview from the Off the Bench show that is put on by ESPN, as Coach O made an appearance on the show, and this is what he had to say about this coaching search, among other things.
Good morning, guys. Great to be on the show. Great to see our mid-year graduates. Great to see all our guys coming back from last year. Great to see our offensive coaches already getting to work. Things are looking great in the office. We're fired up about this season.
Yes, sir. You got a lot of good news coming out of the program again this week. Last week, we talked to you about some guys that announced that they were coming back. Another stable for you, or another a rock for you on the offensive line, a stable part of the unit. Austin Deculus, coach, with as many games as he started, is coming back for his 5th season. He announced that last night. What's that mean for your program?
We needed that. And, Austin's been a great young man out of Houston, Texas. His mom and dad are from Mamou. They got a lot of Louisiana ties. Austin's been a great leader for us, a great young man. That goes to show that our whole offensive line is coming back, and they should be a strength of our football team next year.
That is a incredible selling point with your offensive line coming back. I'd imagine you were doing that during offensive meetings. You landed on an offensive coordinator and picked up a passing game coordinator last week that was very familiar with the program, and DJ Mangus and offensive coordinator Jake Peets. Can you just talk to us about getting to that decision and bringing those guys in?
We went hard with Joe Brady's recommendations, and Derek Panenski did a great job when we were going through the season. Was in constant contact with Joe, and we'll find out who's the best fit for us here at LSU. And we're so excited about Jake and DJ coming back. They've already been meeting rave reviews from the players, from the parents they talked to. We're going strictly to the offense that we had 2 years ago, and I know our fans are going to be excited about it.
Well, and what does the offseason schedule look like right now, Coach? Like, what has last week been like? What do you got on the docket over the next couple of weeks as these new coaches and new players come in?
Well, coaches are meeting on the offense. I'm handling the defense right now. Obviously, we only have one full-time coach on defense, but we have our analysts. We're still doing our work we're doing from last season. This is a discretionary week. The guys can work out on their own. There will be no mandatory lifting starting until next week, but Monday's Martin Luther King Day, so everybody's going to have that off. But then on Tuesday, we start football school. So we're ready to go next Tuesday. We start football school on Tuesday and Wednesday. All-season program, big time for our program here.
So with football school around the corner, Coach, I know it's a bit of a delicate balance where, look, the defensive coordinator search is still going on. Freeman ended up going to Notre Dame. And so now it's a situation where you definitely don't want to speed up the process. You want to make sure you get it right. And maybe some of the targets are still out there coaching. Where does the defensive coordinator search currently stand today?
It's looking good. We have a lot of great candidates. It's about getting the right fit. Hopefully we can get it within the next week, but we're going to take our time, get the right people in here, and I think eventually all the pieces are going to fit together. I want to get the offense first. Defensively, we can handle it. I've coached defense all my life. We can take care of it until we get the right guys. And I do believe the right guys are going to come along.
That's Coach O, man, dropping some signs. LSU didn't get its target defensive coordinator, which was Marcus Freeman. The rest of the potential candidates for the job, and according to Tiger Details, another really good source for LSU news, they had a list that they released last month, which was a pretty good list of potential defensive coordinators. At the top of the list, they astutely placed Marcus Freeman there. And like I said, we didn't land him. He went to Notre Dame. So according to this list, which is a pretty good list, next up on the list is guys like Ryan Nielsen. Ryan Nielsen, not a hot name that's on the list, but the Saints defensive line coach, checks a lot of boxes, considered to be an elite defensive line coach, has a track record. He played and coached for Coach O. He's have NFL pedigree, and he could be ready to take the next step. And he's been an excellent addition since he came to New Orleans from North Carolina State. He does not have a ton of defensive experience as far as coordinator is concerned, but his last recorded stint at the position was in 08-09 at Central Connecticut State. With that said, he has an experience as a defensive running game coordinator during his career as well. So also Chris Rashad is another dude that is on the list as well that surfaced in rumor mills. He has experience in the secondary, was a defensive back coach, defensive play caller, passing game coordinator for the Cowboys for a year in 2018-2019. Now Richard's pairing him with Corey Raymond in the secondary, along with strong hires at the defensive line and linebacker position, could be a good linebacker role, would be a good blend for LSU, and we'll see how it shakes. But Richard did not coach this season after being vocal about he didn't want to be nothing less than a coordinator. Another guy that's mentioned is Tosh Lupai, who's the former Alabama defensive coordinator. He's currently the defensive line coach and running game coordinator for the Falcons. Following a year as the Cleveland Browns defensive line coach, he's bounced around a little bit, but is an extremely effective recruiter on the collegiate level. His experience is coaching from the front seven, and Lupai does not seem like the most likely of options, but he does have the experience to help. And of course, another name was listed was Derek Mason. Already he's been picked up. Pete Golding is another dude. Now, this one is interesting, but it's a ton of sense if you think about it, because he's the Alabama defensive coordinator, has experience running multiple fronts on the collegiate level with that 4-2-5 defense at the University, UTSA, catching the eye of Saban for his attacking style. And for Golden, this move only makes sense because he desires to come back to Louisiana, which he's from here, and wants to get from up under Nick Saban's shadow in hopes of growing into a head coach. So the problem with that is most of Saban's coordinator becomes head coaches. So could Pete Golden be a guy that's interested in the job with LSU? We'll see. Jim Leonard is another dude that's on the list. This hire may be a stretch simply based on the perception that Leonard will be difficult to pry away from Wisconsin. Money may not do it based on Leonard's career earnings in NFL. We haven't been able to connect the dots between Leonard and Orgeron. Leonard is considered to be one of the nation's premier assistant coaches. He made just short of $1 million the past year, which LSU could extend, but as noted, money is not believed to be the major motivator for Leonard. This one may take one heck of a sales job by LSU if they want to pry him away there. Also, another guy on the list that a lot of people are not that really high on is Barry Odom. Now, remember, this hire does make a lot of sense because of his experience, but if you look at the current, from this past season, I wasn't wowed about how Barry Odom's defense performed this year, so I would be kind of skeptical of this hire. This would not excite me as an LSU Tiger family member. This would not excite me with a Barry Odom hire, and that's simply because he did serve as an Arkansas assistant head coach. He was a defensive coordinator as well as safety coach. He also has experience as a linebackers coach, which is considered his key strength. There's not much ties with him and Orgeron, but one would think there would be familiarity of sorts based on their extensive careers in the business. Now, Odom players enjoy playing for him. They always take on his toughness, and he's known as a strong recruiter. He does check a lot of boxes, but he had very minimal success this past season over the defense, and I'm not really blown away at what he did this past season. And of course, a dark horse on the list, if you would consider him that, is Will Muschamp. Remember, Muschamp is another dude who has experience. He's a former head coach for all intents and purposes. Muschamp, he has a proven track record on the defense in the SEC and is familiar with Coach O and LSU, so you have to put him on this list. Muschamp runs a multi-front defense, likes to attack with defensive front. He's also getting paid to sit at home, so how interested would he be into jumping in the right situation again? But with a lot of people thinking, will this be like a signing similar to what Bo Pelini is? So, we could be wanting a little bit more out of Will Muschamp. Again, He does have the experience as a head coach as well, and he is looking for another opportunity to get back into college. So we'll see how it shakes in the end, but those are some of the candidates that are currently on the list. And to be honest with you, the Ryan Nielsen coordinator situation sounds a bit interesting to me. But look, this is another report that we're getting as of today about LSU, and they're interviewing Mississippi State's coordinator, Zach Arnett, for the position. He just finished the first year as the Bulldogs defensive coordinator after below average 2020 season. Now, it appears LSU football has found another candidate for its vacant defensive position. This is reported by LSU Country. On Tuesday, Mississippi State defensive coordinator Zach Arnett was reportedly in town to interview for the position, and he's the next man on the list. Third four-year Arnett just completed his first year as the Bulldogs defensive coordinator after spending 8 years of his coaching career at San Diego State. Now, Arnett did an impressive job with the Bulldogs, considering multiple midseason opt-outs and reports of team dysfunction threatening the team throughout the season. Mississippi State went 3-7 in a shortened SEC schedule, but did win the Armed Forces Bowl after Tulsa to cap off the season. Now, the Bulldogs finished number 5 in SEC in total defense, while also being one of the most effective red zone defenses in the conference, and forced 18 turnovers, which was the top 4 in the SEC as well. Now, bringing in Arnett to interview for the job continues the running theme with the round of hires for the Tigers. A young, energetic coach looking to move up in the coaching ranks seems to be approached, as Arnett, Freeman, offensive coordinators Jake Peets, and passing game coordinator DJ Mangas are all under the age of 40. This is a smart strategy by Coach O, as opposed to getting these experienced guys. So, that could fit the bill. And it's important to note that it was just an interview. There's no decision imminent. As Coach O was saying, he will continue to take time to look at these different guys here and hire the right coordinator for the job. So that's the latest news on that. And also a bit of news as well, just to drop down on the family members of the contracts of the new offensive coordinator Jake Peets and passing coordinator DJ Mangas, as Peets has agreed to a 2-year deal that'll pay him $1.2 million in the first season, $1.3 in the next season, and Mangas, who agreed to a 2-year deal that'll pay him $400,000 per year. So both coaches 2-year agreement with both of these guys, and of course these are understudies that's connected to Joe Brady. Brady is really moving fast. He's currently the offensive coordinator of the Carolina Panthers, and he is interviewing for head coaching jobs. So this goddamn guy, the grass doesn't grow under Joe Brady's feet, does it? Anyway, that'll do it for the show. I'd like to thank all of the Tough Tiger Talk family members for chiming in on this installment of Tough Tiger Talk, giving you guys an update on the defensive coordinator position and who's next up on the list. So thank y'all for tuning in for the Tough Tiger Talk. Salute to the Tough Tiger Talk Nation. I appreciate y'all guys for y'all support. Thank you guys for sticking and being here as well. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the realest show covering LSU football. I'm Big Q, and I'll see you on the flip side. Go Tigers!